Have you ever wondered if it's normal to still feel desire or crave intimacy as you get older? Maybe you felt unsure or even a little embarrassed about it. But here's the truth. Wanting connection, pleasure, or even just a simple sense of closeness doesn't disappear with age. It's part of being human. The problem is, society rarely talks about it. For many older adults, topics like sexual health and self-pleasure, especially masturbation, are kept in the shadows. But avoiding the conversation doesn't make the questions or feelings go away. In fact, it often leaves people confused, isolated, or struggling with changes they don't fully understand. That's why in today's video, we're going to have an open, honest discussion about how aging affects our sexual health, desires, and emotional well-being. We'll cover 8 important things every older adult should know, including how the body changes, how emotions and self-image evolve, and how to maintain confidence and comfort when it comes to pleasure. Whether you're in your 70s, 80s, or supporting someone who is, this conversation can bring clarity, comfort, and maybe even a little confidence back into an area of life that deserves attention. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about something that truly matters. Because sexual health is not just about the body, it's about connection, self-respect, and living fully at every age. 1. Physical changes in the body. As we age, our bodies go through all kinds of changes, some expected, some surprising. One of the areas where people notice shifts is in their sexual health and how their body responds to pleasure. For men, testosterone levels naturally start to decline, which can lead to a lower sex drive or difficulties in getting or maintaining an erection. It's common and doesn't mean anything is wrong. It's just the body adjusting with time. For women, menopause brings its own set of changes. Estrogen levels drop, which often leads to vaginal dryness, less natural lubrication, and sometimes discomfort during intimacy or self-pleasure. Some women also notice their clitoris becoming less sensitive, which can make it harder to feel pleasure the same way they used to. On top of that, blood flow slows down a bit with age. And since arousal depends a lot on circulation, both men and women might find that it takes more time or stimulation to feel turned on. Muscle strength also changes, especially the pelvic floor muscles which support sexual function. If these muscles weaken, it can affect sensation and control. These physical changes are completely natural, but they can be confusing or frustrating, especially if no one talks about them. The key is to understand your body, listen to it, and know that there are gentle ways to work with these changes. From pelvic floor exercises and lubricants to open communication and slowing things down, aging doesn't mean the end of pleasure. It just means we learn new ways to experience it. Second, potential health risks. Masturbation is generally a safe and natural part of life, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. But like everything else as we get older, there are a few things to be mindful of, and especially when it comes to your overall health. If you're dealing with heart issues, for example, it's good to remember that sexual arousal, even solo, can slightly raise your heart rate and blood pressure. For most people, that's completely fine. But if you've had heart surgery, chest pain, or any cardiac episodes in the past, it's smart to be gentle and talk to your doctor if anything feels off. Joint pain, arthritis, or stiffness are also common concerns. Sometimes certain movements or positions might cause discomfort. So the idea here isn't to stop, it's to adapt. Use cushions, take your time, and explore gentler ways that feel good without putting stress on your body. Then there's medication. Many older adults take prescriptions for blood pressure, diabetes, depression, or other chronic conditions. Some of these can impact your libido, arousal, or even your ability to orgasm. It's not uncommon, and it's definitely nothing to feel ashamed of. But if you've noticed a change and it bothers you, bring it up with your doctor. A small tweak in your medication or adding supportive options might make all the difference. Lastly, conditions like diabetes or nerve damage can reduce sensitivity. That doesn't mean pleasure is gone. It just means you might need more time, more focus, or even new tools to enjoy it fully. The bottom line? Keep exploring, but do it with awareness and kindness toward your body. Pleasure is still yours to enjoy. You just might need to approach it a little differently. 3. Mental and emotional health. We often talk about the physical side of aging, but your emotional and mental well-being matter just as much, especially when it comes to intimacy. Masturbation, or any form of sexual expression, isn't just about physical pleasure. It can bring emotional comfort, reduce stress, help with sleep, and even lift your mood. When you engage in self-pleasure, your body releases feel-good chemicals like endorphins and oxytocin. These are the same hormones that make you feel relaxed, happy, and connected. And let's be honest, in a time of life where you might be facing loneliness, grief, or physical limitations, finding a way to reconnect with your body can be deeply healing. But here's the thing. Many older adults still carry shame around this topic. Maybe it's due to how we were raised or what society says about aging and sexuality. We're often told, directly or indirectly, that after a certain age we're too old for desire or pleasure. That's simply not true. Desire doesn't disappear just because you've reached a certain number. In fact, for many it evolves into something even more meaningful. If you've ever felt guilt or awkwardness around your sexuality, know that you're not alone, but also know that you deserve joy, touch, and emotional closeness, no matter your age. The more we talk openly and honestly about this, the more we give others permission to do the same. And that can be incredibly empowering. So if you're feeling stressed, down, or disconnected, sometimes reconnecting with your own body is a step toward reconnecting with your spirit too. 4. Social isolation and loneliness. Let's be real. Growing older often comes with changes that can feel isolating. Friends may move away or pass on, family might be busy with their own lives, and physical limitations can make it harder to get out and stay socially active. This can lead to a quiet kind of loneliness that creeps in over time and affects more than just your mood. It impacts your overall health, including your relationship with intimacy. When you're spending a lot of time alone, it's natural to turn inward for comfort. For many older adults, masturbation or other forms of self-touch can become not only a physical release, but also a way to feel close to themselves in a world that suddenly feels quieter. It's a way of reminding your body that it still deserves pleasure, comfort, and care, even if no one else is around to give it. That said, while self-pleasure can be healing, it's important to not let it become a substitute for connection. Human beings are social creatures, no matter our age. We all need companionship, conversation, and laughter. So while there's nothing wrong with seeking pleasure in solitude, it's just as important to nurture the social parts of yourself too. Join a local group, call an old friend, attend a community class, even if it feels a little awkward at first. These small acts can slowly rebuild the sense of connection that loneliness tends to chip away at. Because while self-love is powerful, so is knowing you're seen, heard, and cared for by others. You deserve both. 5. Communication with your partner. As we age, our bodies change, our energy shifts, and sometimes our needs around intimacy evolve too. That's completely natural. But what many couples forget is that the key to navigating these changes is simple: honest, open-hearted communication. If you have a partner, one of the most loving things you can do is talk openly about how you're both feeling, physically and emotionally. Maybe one of you is feeling less interested in sex, or maybe arousal takes a little more time than it used to. That's okay. What matters most is creating space where you can talk about it without embarrassment or pressure. Sometimes intimacy in older age becomes less about performance and more about connection. Gentle touch, cuddling, even holding hands. These moments of closeness can be just as fulfilling, if not more, than what intimacy looked like in your younger years. And if self-pleasure is still part of your life, talking about that too can deepen trust and understanding between you. The truth is, relationships don't stop growing just because we've gotten older. In fact, this stage of life can bring a beautiful kind of intimacy, one that's rooted in mutual respect, patience, and care. So if something's on your mind, speak it. If something feels different, share it. And if something still brings you joy, celebrate it together. Because your connection, like you, deserves to age with grace, warmth, and honesty. 6. Exploring new techniques. Let's be honest, what worked for us in our 30s or 40s might not feel the same in our 70s and beyond. But that doesn't mean pleasure goes away. It just means we might need to approach it differently, and that can actually be a good thing. This stage of life is a perfect opportunity to slow down, be more in tune with your body, and explore new ways to feel good, mentally and physically. Maybe that means trying a different type of touch. Maybe it's adding a bit of warm oil or using a good quality lubricant to make things more comfortable and enjoyable. These aren't extras. They're tools to help you feel your best. Some older adults even explore vibrators or toys designed specifically for ease and comfort. Many are built with seniors in mind, simple to use, gentle on the hands, and incredibly effective. There's no shame in that, just empowerment. You can also explore the power of setting the mood. Soft lighting, calming music, a warm bath beforehand. It all helps your body relax and your mind focus. Intimacy, even with yourself, becomes a ritual, not just a routine. The most important thing? Be curious, be kind to yourself, and know that your capacity for pleasure and connection is still very much alive. It just might come in new and beautiful ways you haven't discovered yet. 7. Seeking professional advice. It's completely normal to have questions or concerns about sexual health as you age. What's not normal is feeling like you have to figure it all out alone. Talking to a healthcare professional, even about something as personal as masturbation or intimacy, can be one of the most helpful and empowering steps you take. Many older adults are surprised to learn how much support is actually available. Doctors, therapists, and sexual health specialists have seen it all. And more importantly, they're trained to help you navigate changes with compassion, not judgment. Whether it's questions about medication side effects, discomfort during pleasure, hormone changes, or simply wanting to feel more confident in your body again, these are valid topics that deserve answers. Sometimes a simple conversation can bring clarity. For example, a doctor might suggest a hormone cream, a therapist might help unpack emotional barriers, or a specialist might recommend physical therapy for better pelvic floor strength, all of which can improve your experience dramatically. Also, keep in mind, sexual health is health. It's just as important as managing your blood pressure, mental well-being, or physical fitness. So don't hesitate to ask. You deserve to feel good in your body and confident in your experiences, no matter your age. Ready to move on to the final point? Embracing your sexuality? 8. Embracing your sexuality. Here's something many people forget to say out loud. Sexuality doesn't have an expiration date. Your desire for touch, connection, and pleasure doesn't magically disappear once you reach a certain age. In fact, for many people in their 70s and 80s, this stage of life can bring deeper self-awareness, more emotional intimacy, and a clearer understanding of what truly feels good. Embracing your sexuality in later years is not about trying to perform the way you used to. It's about honoring what your body wants now. That could mean solo pleasure through masturbation, exploring new sensations, or simply enjoying physical closeness like cuddling, kissing, or touch that nurtures comfort and connection. For some, it's also a chance to rewrite the narrative. Maybe you grew up believing that sex and aging don't mix, or that self-pleasure is taboo. But the truth is, your sexuality is yours for life. Letting go of guilt or embarrassment and leaning into curiosity can open the door to a more fulfilling experience. Tools like lubricants, comfortable positioning, sex toys designed for seniors, and open conversations with a partner, or even with yourself, can make a world of difference. The focus shifts from pressure and performance to exploration, pleasure, and connection, whether emotional, physical, or both. So if you're still feeling desire, or even if you're just curious, lean into it. Your sexuality is a part of your identity, and embracing it can bring a sense of empowerment, freedom, and joy that lifts your entire well-being. Aging doesn't take that away from you. It gives you the space to experience it in a whole new way. That brings us to the end of this important conversation. If this video has helped you, inspired you, or simply made you feel more seen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. And in the comments below, let us know. What was one key insight you're taking with you today? Thanks for being here. You're not alone, and your journey